What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Rad Up All Night. Again, it's a live hangout tonight, guys. As soon as I have an idea of what I want to do, I've got so many ideas here. I'm like, oh, tonight I'm going to go live. I want to talk about this. I'm going to do a show about this. There's always news. There's always news that's dropping. It seems like every Tuesday that I'm like, you know what? I might as well talk about it. And it's some news about a couple drops and also, too, about the Blair Witch. So, my last live show that I did, I talked a little bit about the Blair Witch situation with Imprint doing the collection, Second Sight announcing their version, people coming out and saying, you got to buy the Second Sight version. It's got all these extra cuts. We've got all these extra features that you're not going to get anywhere else. And again, there's been a little bit of an update. Not many people have talked about this. I was actually sent this by a listener of the show. So thank you so much. And it was about the deal with this Second Sight release. Is this the one to get? What's the deal with the Imprint one? What's to come? The US might have its own release from Lionsgate. So these are all kind of things that we now know. And it then comes down to, which version do you buy? Do you buy it now and, and just assume it's the end all be all? If something else comes, you'll get it. Do you wait? Again, because there's a lot of things going into this release where it's like, okay, the Second Sight one is the one to get, but it's region locked. So for some people, that might not work. But I can go through that and tell you what Mike Monello said regarding this release and regarding the future of Blair Witch on physical media, if you guys don't know the story on that. And we were announced today a couple things. Terminator's coming out in 4K. It'll be very interesting to see that. So Terminator was announced today on 4K Steelbook. So that's cool. I love the Terminator. I'm actually a bigger fan of the original than I am part 2. So I'm definitely excited to see that in all its glory. Hopefully we've seen what's kind of happened with a lot of the Cameron stuff, and who knows what's going to happen here, but I'll check it out. I'll give it a try. And we'll talk about another movie that just got announced today. I think, I don't know if it's an official announcement or like a rumor. So I'm not going to come up here and say it's an official announcement. I'm going to come out and just say, this is what came out today. Is it true or not? And then we can kind of talk about it. So before I do all that, I'm going to pop in, say what's up to anybody that's in the chat. So guys, if you're watching this right now, come say hi in the chat and I'll give you a little shout out before I get into the topic at hand. My man, Eli, what's up, dude? What's up, man? He really hates Scheme Factory. Hopefully someone overseas will do the 4K of Hush. So Hush was the movie I was talking about. We'll get into that a little bit there as we go. Ken Carlson, what's up? Hope Screen Factory knows some upgrades for November like Rabid. This guy's all about the upgrades, man. I'm all not about the upgrades. I don't want to keep buying all this again. I mean, I would definitely buy Class of 84. The other ones, I don't know. Maybe Silent Night. I don't know. Ken Carlson says Hammer got its first 4K. Yes, Scars of Dracula from Kino. Now, this is a very interesting situation because the Hammer stuff is actually the only stuff from Scream Factory I never bought. I have a couple, but I didn't get the whole line because it's just a part of horror that I'm not super familiar with. Like I said, my uncle's been trying to get me into Hammer stuff for a long time. My buddy Daniel over at the Cobwebs channel has been trying to get me more into Hammer stuff. The stuff I've seen I liked, but I don't really gravitate towards like those timepieces, like a lot of the Hammer stuff. But I do like what I've seen, and I do think it's an area of the horror genre I want to get to know a little bit more. So I look at this one of two ways. Do I look at this and say, oh, wow, Scars of Dracula 4K Kino. I have Scars of Dracula on DVD. I didn't have the Blu-ray, but do I buy this Kino one and say, hey, you know what? I wonder if they're going to start getting all those Scream Factory Hammer movies ported over to Kino and get the 4K. If that's the case, I'll kind of start my Hammer collection from scratch on 4K. Or do I say, wow, well, maybe the Scream Factory ones will all go on sale and I can get a bunch of them real cheap on Blu-ray. So one of two things is kind of been crossing my mind. Do I just hope they all go to Kino and start buying them there? Do I buy the Scream Factory ones? I could do both, but I'm very much like, I would love to keep them together. I'd love them all to be part of the same label, or at least most of them. So again, I'm weird like that when it comes to collecting. I'm a very aesthetic collector, I will say. But I am really interested to kind of see what goes on with some of these titles because they are titles I want to dip a little bit more into. So I am, you know, eyeballing a lot of that stuff. Max, what's up, man? Lady I work with told me tonight that her son, who's into horror, has a very rare autograph of Kane Hodder. Rare? Doesn't he do a show every weekend? Yeah, Kane. Yes. So I'm not going to say it's rare because he's out there and he's been out there. He's almost at every convention I go to, and I've been going since like '07 or something like that, '06, I think. So he's definitely around. So it's not rare, but with the way things are going nowadays, like you don't know how long a lot of these people are going to be around, and it's cool to have. I mean, Kane Hodder's an icon in the horror genre, so of course, I have a couple Kane Hodder autographs. But would I say it's a rare autograph? No, definitely not. But that's cool that her son likes horror. So what you're gonna do, Max, is just tell her son to come subscribe to this channel, and we can talk horror back and forth. How's that? Thanks, buddy. Perry fan, what's up? Daniel, how you doing, man? Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Anybody who's watching me while they're laying in bed, I appreciate wholeheartedly. Thank you so much. I mean, it makes me feel great that I'm the last person they want to see or hear before they fall asleep. This is great. This is good stuff. This is rad stuff. And thank you for being here, Daniel. Appreciate that. Magic Hands, what's going on? Were you and your brother friends of the Lost Boys gang growing up? Yes. I absolutely love everything about the Lost Boys. Now it's funny because I didn't see the Lost Boys until I was a little older. Surprisingly, like I didn't see it as a little kid. I saw it as a teenager. So of course I was heavily drawn to the movie because of the Coreys, which for whatever reason it passed me by. But I knew them from other things, obviously. But the Lost Boys passed me by, and seeing Kiefer Sutherland for the first time and Brooke McCarter and all them kind of dressed in that garb, I was like, I'm all about it. So yeah, everything about Lost Boys is just, I love it. Blazing Saddles and Terminator 4Ks are god awful. You know what? I didn't see the Blazing Saddles one. I did think the 4K of Terminator was pretty bad. Honestly, I usually will buy Steelbook over slipcovers all day, every day from studio labels. Studio labels, I will. Boutiques, I won't. So it's weird how that kind of works. But I'm not digging the Steelbook artwork on Terminator at all. Not at all. Especially with that cover of that movie being so damn iconic. It's like I would just like the regular poster art. Now, are they going to do a slipcover version with the regular art? That'd be cool. Gizmo, good morning from Norway. Dude, thank you so much, man. Look at this. Got people from Norway watching early in the morning. It's late here. It's not late on the West Coast. It's late on the East Coast. But, dude, thank you so much for popping in. Go check out Video Man Gizmo over on the Tubeski. Oh, what up, kid? Kill that like button for the raddest dude on the tube. Dude on the tube. How about the raddest chick on the tube? Go subscribe over to 1/3 of the Rad Pack mail at My Color Podcast. Speaking of Rad Pack, she is probably packing right now, the old Melski over there at My Killer Podcast, because tomorrow morning we're all trucking up to Camp Rad Pack. So tomorrow night, Camp Rad Pack is back. The third year we're doing this, and she's probably heading up there tomorrow morning. I'm heading up there tomorrow morning. Justin, I think he could be there now. I haven't talked to him today, but should be a fun show. Definitely go subscribe to the Rad Pack channel on YouTube. That is our podcast, and we're going to do our yearly Camp Rad Pack show tomorrow. It's a fan favorite. This one, we're going to go to a different camp. We've got different camp, different rules tomorrow. And if you grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, you're going to definitely want to come see what we have to talk about tomorrow. And keep your eyes on our socials tomorrow for a little bit more update on it. And if you check the thumbnail, you might have an idea exactly what we're going to talk about tomorrow. So definitely want to go subscribe over there to the Rad Pack YouTube channel so you can be part of Camp Rad Pack. It only comes once a year, and it's a special occasion, so you guys want to go check that out tomorrow night. All right, let's see who else I got in the house here. All right. Caprice, what's going on, kid? Ken Carlson says highly doubt Lionsgate Blair Witch top so the second sight. You never know. You never know. What up, Prince? How are you, my man? What up, Bog Zombie? How are you? Mama Blu-ray, really enjoyed Blair Witch. How are you? Blair Witch is one of my favorites. One of my favorites. Still super effective. Um, Maya, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. Wow. Fluffiest. Sick. Oh my god. What's up, JC? I'm very sad of Hush being deaf myself. I love the hell out of it. Yeah, it's very different, man. Very, very different of a flick, and I'll get into that for sure. Oh my god, yes. Rest in peace, Psycho Sid, aka Sid Vicious, aka Sid Justice. Man, what a friggin' wrestler. He doesn't get enough love as he deserves. I mean, that guy was the epitome of what a professional wrestler should look like. He was an intimidating, big, scary dude. And he was somebody that I loved growing up in the 80s all the way until like probably 2000. In his time in WCW and WWE and or WWF, and then he even did a small stint in ECW. I mean, Sid was awesome. I was lucky to meet Sid at one point when I was about 16 years old. I met him in a parking lot of a bar. Right after a wrestling show, all the wrestlers were they used to go to this bar in my town, and we knew they were going there. So me and my friend drove over there. He had just got his license at the time, and we had magazines, and we got people to sign it outside in the parking lot. Triple H, China, Billy Gunn. At the time, he was called Rockabilly, so that's what his autograph says on my paper. Crush, who has now passed away. So a lot of cool people we met that night, and yeah, rest in peace, Sid, man. I hope to God you get put in the Hall of Fame this year because you deserve it. And I know he wanted in. I mean, literally last week he posted something that said, I'm hoping I get added to the Hall of Fame this year because the time is ticking, and I would love to accept, that in person. And holy crap, dude! A week later he's gone. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's kind of what that's what I'm thinking. And I think hammers would look really nice in 4K. But if I can get the Screen Factory one super cheap now, then I might go that. I don't know. I don't know. What up, B Maga? What? The massive Shining book that was $1,200 now being released at a cheaper version of 120. What book? The Steel book? The yellow one? I'm confused. I have the yellow steelbook. You're telling me that was selling for that much money? Is that what book? Or is it like a real book? Yeah, man, I hear you. I'm actually planning on Hammer Horror Bitches October. I've always loved Universal Monsters. Yeah, I'm totally. I think to be honest, it's coming quick, but like that would have been pretty cool to kind of focus on that in October, something a little bit different for sure. Let me see. Come on, man. What up, Dino? Smack the like. Yeah, smack the like, people. Hit that like button if you're sitting here right now. We got about 60 people in here. So if you're coming over here to check this out, hit the like button. I appreciate that. I'll give you guys some info if I can. Please give us a hint from Slippy. I know these answers. I 80% know these answers. But anything can happen. All I'm going to say is no matter what happens, it's going to be a great addition and everybody's going to still buy it. And if it comes, it comes, right? It's coming. Now, the exact date, I don't know that answer. Is there a possibility it doesn't get here by Halloween? With the pre-order not going up yet? Yeah. But like I said before on my last stream, this is going to be the definitive edition of this movie. So regardless if you want it now or later, it's going to be, you're going to get it. You're going to want it. So I can't be too detailed because I have ideas, but I don't know the real answer. I'm not involved, right? So anything can happen. Things can be moving fast. Things can be moving slow at this very moment. I'm not sure. Do I? Yeah, kind of. I always have. As a kid, I'm staring right in front of me right now, a wall of action figures right here. I could have bought them when I was 10. I could have bought them yesterday, right? So there's there's so many, but kind of like I'm very particular on it, but I do still buy them now and then. Let me see. All right. I see a lot of people chiming in. I better get to this topic. So in case anybody watches this in the replay and wants to know my thoughts, they're not going to be like, what is that? What's wrong with this guy? What's he doing? All right. So look at this, dude. I am going to Universal in October. Look at this. I'm getting ready. Look at getting ready, baby. Okay. So we'll talk about that too. We'll talk about that. Okay, so first and foremost, we're going to talk about the Blair Witch. Okay, so Blair Witch was announced from Imprint, um, originally via Vision, Imprint, whatever. It was a Blair Witch collection. We talked about this on my last show. You get part one, you get part two on Blu-ray in a box set. Very cool. So you get Book of Shadows finally on HD, finally on Blu-ray. That's the real kicker why I think a lot of people wanted this, is because they're like, oh my God, I get Book of Shadows. I own Blair Witch on Blu-ray already. I know a lot of people do as well. Came out in a steelbook again last year, housed with the other Blair Witch, the remake. So a lot of people were excited. So then something came out that said, no, don't buy that Imprint release. Second Sight is working on a definitive release with different cuts and features, and I swear they said it was probably going to be a 4K. I could have misheard or whatever, but originally I think everybody thought it was going to be a 4K. So then it seemed like everybody put the brakes on, because it seems like Second Sight's been doing this lately, with things like Hitcher and all this stuff. It's like, oh no, wait, we're coming with our version. It's going to be better, and everybody kind of halts, because as of right now, Second Sight is like top dog in the physical media boutique labels to a lot of people. It's just a banger after banger after banger, right? So everybody kind of stopped and said, okay, we're not going to order the Blair Witch thing yet because we're not sure what this is going to be. But some people maybe still order it because they did want Book of Shadows. So it was announced the other day, Second Sight's like, hey, here's what we're doing. Well, number one, it's not 4K, which again, I don't think Blair Witch needs a 4K, but I think a lot of people just assumed it's a 4K because we've got this movie on Blu-ray multiple times. And it's loaded with features. There's different cuts of the film. There's different, the way it's shot is like we've never seen before. And I'll talk about that in a second. It's got a lot of features. It's, still Blu-ray, but I think they did a special restoration with the creators and stuff. And the big problem was it was region B locked. And I know that really kind of bummed people out. Now, I was a little bummed about that. I do have a region free player, but I've mentioned this before. I've been trying not to buy a lot of region lock stuff lately over the last year or so, just because my region free player has been unhooked and I've got other things going on over there. So I can plug it all back in and set it all back up. But just out of convenience, if it was a 4K all region, it would have been more convenient for me. But there's a lot of collectors out there that don't run region free. And now they're like, oh my God, now I can't watch this. And with 4K and stuff, that's not usually a problem we're having nowadays. So with that being said, Mike Manello went to Twitter and he says this: I want to thank Second Sight Films for an incredible love and attention they have given this release. This release marks the first time this movie has been properly transferred and released in a way that was intended to be seen. If you want to know how or why, keep reading. In 1999, theatrical films didn't originate on video, so there was no codified, I don't know, I'm not going to process for putting them out on video. So they did it like all films back then. They transferred the 35 millimeter negative to video. Unfortunately, the 35 millimeter negative is not the actual camera negative. As a result, the version released in all forms on home video is incorrect. The colors, the motion, the strange rounded corners It didn't look like a home video and it didn't look like film. This is the first and the only edition of the film to be properly transferred to home video release. It finally looks the way it did to us when we were filming and editing, the way we wanted it to look. In fact, if theaters had been able to project this video in 1999, then this transfer would have theatrically. The 35 millimeter print was a step we had to take due to the technology at the time. Over the last 25 years, the film has felt unfinished to us and could see it and could not be seen the way it was intended. As a true found footage experience, it now looks the way it always should have. I know many people will be upset that this is Region B. I wish we could be all region, but contracts and legal stuff prevent that. That said, this edition could be released in the US. That decision belongs exclusively to Lionsgate. Interesting. So as you can see, they had to lock the region because Lionsgate may do something with this. So Lionsgate's kind of keeping it in their back pocket, basically. So that could be a good thing for people who aren't running region-free players. It says, if you do not have a region-free player, I highly suggest you contact Lionsgate directly and ask them to release this version of the film. In fact, I hope they will use this transfer they said in theaters if it ever gets put out in theaters again. I hope this version becomes the definitive version that shows up on streaming. The old transfer on Peacock is wrong. It's a wrong aspect ratio, no less. That's all up to Lionsgate as well. For now, I'm going to mangle in a quote from Rustin Parr. It's finally finished, and you can see it come November 11th. So, interesting comments from Mike. Basically, he's saying, go hound Lionsgate. They've got access to all the stuff they've done. They've got access to the way it's shot. They've got access to the cuts. It seems like they have access to a lot of the features as well. So if you want to see this thing in the US, maybe you want to see this in 4K, the only people that are going to make that decision or make that happen is Lionsgate. Now, why they haven't done that, I do not know. I do believe this seems like a movie they would want to mess with because they've released it twice already. One in a standalone, and they had a steelbook collection. So it seems like this would be something that they'd want to do, especially with this new cut and everything being color corrected the way it was supposed to be, and the access to kind of utilize the video portion that they never were able to utilize back in the theater. So this is huge news for Blair Witch fans. So as of right now, I say this second sight edition is going to be the best edition of Blair Witch we've ever seen. And for a fan of the movie, I can't wait to see this the way it was supposed to be seen. And I'm excited. But again, I do feel for the people that can't run region free. Now, they could go buy a region free player and get this edition. Great. But if they can't or they don't want to, I would say anybody, hound Lionsgate. Go on their Instagram, post something, send them a message on there. I'm just going to fix this. I don't know if they have an email there, but hound Lionsgate and tell them that you want this edition on 4K or released in the States or whatever. So that's the info that we have right now, straight from the source. So it's pretty cool to see this and hear this. And again, is Lionsgate currently working on it? Perhaps. Nobody really knows for sure. They could be. But I think that they want them to make sure that this does come out so everybody can see it the way it was supposed to be seen. So that's why I think he's like, go hound them to make sure that they don't sit on this, because they do have access to us and these cuts and whatnot. So interesting stuff here. So I will get back to the chat, see what you guys have to say about this. I'm sorry if I skipped some people. But I will get back to some people as well. Let me see. Hey, yeah, how good is the Neon Vision book? Definitely want to pick it up. Neon Void. This thing, it's pretty cool, guys. keep your eyes peeled because I'm going to be doing a showcase of this book on my channel probably next week, and it's going to be pretty fun. Um, hey man, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thanks for being here. Of course, I have the muscle men. Um, what's up, man? Yeah, it does. It has all that. Correct. Okay, right. It happened to Sean O'Brien versus like wait, a better version come out. Exactly, that did happen as well. Go. What's up, Lawn Furniture? Go into the second edition for second sight, standard edition, 52.99 standard Blu-ray. It's pretty steep. Again, it all depends on your fandom for the movie. I love it. I'm gonna get the big wig package, but if you just want to see it, don't really care about that stuff, yeah, there is another option out there. What's up, King? Yeah, man, I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much. Guys, hit that like button. Steve, what's up, dude? Yeah, that's why, because they don't have the rights to release it any other way because Lionsgate wants to hold that for possibly something they're doing. So they don't want it to interrupt their stuff because they're technically the ones who own it. So they don't want this to be accessible to everybody because then if they put it out, nobody's going to want to buy it. So there's a lot of that going around. Like I know with the Friday 13th, the new Friday 13th from Arrow came out, and I guess people were asking about the Blu-ray and stuff like that. But again, I think a lot of this is all rights. Other companies that are saying, hey, you can release this, but we want the Blu-ray to do ourselves. Or, hey, we already have a Blu-ray out. We don't want that to interrupt our sales, right? So anytime these kind of things happen, 9 times out of 10, it's probably like that's all they could get the rights to do. Yeah, exactly. It's probably exactly a crazy web to unravel, and I think that's why, like, even things with like Slippy, he's doing the Trick or Treat release, and it's his first real major release, and there's probably a lot of details that he wasn't aware of, right? Like, to release this. So again, this is a movie that nobody could get a hold of forever, and he finally did, and he's about to put it out. But I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of threads he's had to untangle to get to this point. And being somebody who's kind of new at all this stuff, when it comes to having his own label and distributing his own thing, I'm sure there was a lot of things he was not expecting. So it is wild when it comes to all the legalities and whatnot. What up, Mike? What's up, Garrett? How was it to see the Crow remake crash and burn at the box office? Well, I haven't seen it, so I can't shit on it. I haven't checked it out yet. I'm hearing mostly bad things, but I don't know. I can't shit on it until I see it for myself. But I just don't think it gives hope for a lot of things. To be honest with you, like the next one he's in, the next remake, Nosferatu. I mean, it sounds good on paper. It's got a good team behind it, but that could be a huge flop too, right? So who knows anymore? Beetlejuice seems like it's going to be good, but that could be a flop too. I mean, Hollywood's weird now, man. It's just not. It's not the same, and I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. But all I know is I haven't seen it, so I can't really critique it. But man, thank you for the super chat, dude. Let's hit you up with something here. Yeah, baby. All right, let's see. Yeah, so even though it's not 4K, the transfer is all redone and ratioed the way that it was supposed to be, and they changed all the ratio aspects and whatnot. So it's gonna look different. It's color corrected. It's gonna, even though it's not 4K, it's gonna look like you've never seen it before. So really interested to check that out. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it is, and I think because it was such a unique thing at the time, doing the shot on the found footage, they just couldn't take that, however they shot it on video and converted that to theaters. Maybe it was just not. He made it seem like it wasn't possible for the technology they had at the time, so that's why they had to try to change the way they wanted it to look in order to get in theaters. Yeah, I saw that Signs on 4K. That's cool. I'll probably snag that. I think I only have that on DVD, so it is one I'll probably check out. Yeah, baby. I hear you. What up, MAGA Cat? What up, John Doe Juggalo? What's up, Movie Misfits? What's up, Chris? Go check out Movie Misfits over there. Here you go. Perry fan says 2 years ago I decided to make a big purchase as a region free Sony Blu-ray player. Yeah, it's super helpful. And some people said they weren't too expensive anymore. They're like under 200, which is great. But when I bought mine 10 years ago, it was definitely expensive. Um, you guys are all part of the pack, baby. Did I see? No, I didn't. But I've been excited for that, even though it seems like it's not going to be good. But I'm such a mark for Salem's Lot, and I like the remake with Rob Lowe, so I'm really excited for this. I just love the story. I just really love the story. So as we go into the next thing, and I saw someone mention this up top, and I'll look at this really quick. Max said, Garrett, did you partner up with Vinegar Syndrome? I see they're doing a totally rad sale. Put it this way, we're going to be doing a totally rad Vinegar Syndrome sale show on Thursday night at 11:30 p.m. like we always do, but because this is the totally rad sale show, this is the place you want to be. So make sure you come back here Thursday night, 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're going to have a rad crew talking about this totally rad sale from Vinegar Syndrome. So if you guys know where you want to be for a totally rad sale live, it is going to be on the Born to be Rad channel. So definitely keep your eyes and ears open for news about that. The thumbnail is made. Go hit that reminder button in the live and make sure you're here because it's going to be fun as hell. And I'll give more info on that on my socials tomorrow. So guys, hit that like button if you're coming. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you like what you see, you like what you hear, hit that subscribe button. We're still on a trail to 10,000 by the end of the year. And like I said, any help from all of you guys, share it out to friends, people who like this kind of stuff, friends of yours that talk horror, be like, oh, you should check this channel out. Whatever you guys can do, I need you to be my street team. If you're part of Facebook groups, go add it to the group. Say, hey, check this out. He's talking about Vinegar Syndrome or whatnot. Share the Vinegar Syndrome sale around the thumbnail for that if you're part of any Vinegar Syndrome groups or whatever. So that'd be super helpful. Any of my stuff, you want to share my room tours out to different groups that you're part of, share it out, let people check it out. And more people we can get to be part of the channel is great. And it's more people that we can interact with. So I appreciate that. Let me see what you guys have to say here. I did. I think I'm going to still go with number one. That's the one I was going to go with originally. I think I'm going to still do that one. I think that was Jason's, I believe. Hell yeah. It's going to be a cool time. Yeah, sadly. I mean, I'm interested to see how it turns out too, but that's been on the shelf for since 2021 or something. So I don't know where it's coming. I heard streaming. I don't know where it is. So, let me see. What up, horror collector? He said, look out for a doc about the boutique label companies coming out soon. Two mates are interviewing. Oh, that's cool, man. That's actually a pretty good idea. Documentary coming out. Do they have any kind of special DVD or Blu-ray of Trick or Treat? Well, it's coming out. So keep your eyes open for that. So it's on its way out. It's a 4K box set. So it's coming within the next couple months. You love when we do the countdown and then when it buzzes, we're all like, ah. But I mean, it is interesting because of the totally rad theme. So it's either that they love watching the show and we do all the Vinegar Syndrome shows, so they want to, throw us a little bone here. Or there's gonna be a re-release of Rad. I don't really understand the reason that this would be titled this if there wasn't some kind of addition. Are we gonna get Gleaming the Cube? Are we gonna get? I mean, there's so many possibilities, but I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, Rad would be great. I mean, I've got it, but I don't know. I know a lot of people want that, so I don't know. I really don't know what their plan is here. I wish I did. I'm surprised Salem's Lot is actually coming out and not getting shelved. I'm so glad it's coming out, but where? I didn't hear any new news. Wow, look at this. King said he actually liked the Crow remake. The only change would be make it about a little bit longer. How long was it, anyways? Anchor Bay, yeah, I love those dudes, but they do need to start announcing some stuff quick because I know people are getting a little bit. They're already getting stale on it, and I'm hoping that they come out and rock. But I know they've got a lot of stuff they're working on. But I think they need to, they need to start producing something because I know a lot of people are, how everybody is nowadays. No one's patient anymore. So, people are kind of like, I knew nothing was going to happen here because I did have the guys on the show and we talked about it. And I'm curious to see where things are at. And I definitely want to, have them come back once things start rolling. But yeah, I mean, I think even if they did something like that, like got some VHS stuff in and all that, like, I mean, I think that would be a great idea for sure. Um, Hour and a half about The Crow. I guess it's not a bad length. Um, People who don't have region free play or do my brother did. He bought a second sight deluxe box and told me he just wanted all the goodies. I'm sure there's people out there doing it for sure. Um, that would be so killer if they released like Gleam of the Cube, Airborne, like the whole releases or something like that. That would be sick. Um, I do have Airborne on DVD. I only have Gleaming the Cube on a bootleg, so um, I really want that. I really, really want that. And the next thing I wanted to talk about tonight is a movie from Mike Flanagan, who is notorious in the horror genre for doing really cool shit. And he did a movie that I believe was a Shudder original, and that was called Hush. And this was probably, I don't know, 2020 maybe. It feels like it. And it was like a slasher movie, and it was really cool because it was about a woman who was deaf, and there's someone stalking her outside of her house, and she can't hear this guy. So it's pretty different. It's cool, and it got a lot of love when it came out, and it just kind of sat on Netflix. Did I say Shudder? Did I say Shudder? It was for Netflix, and it sat on Netflix for ever. And, Mike Flanagan came out and did other stuff in Netflix. And then he came out and basically said, Netflix are holding my movies and shows hostage, which is weird because Hell House did come out. Hill House came out, I think, one of his shows came out on Blu-ray because I have it. But like a lot of his other stuff was stuck. So he came out and said something a while back. Now, all of a sudden today we get word that Scream Factory is releasing Hush on 4K, which was a shock to me. Number one, because it's been dormant for so long. Number two, Mike Flanagan said Netflix was holding his stuff hostage. And number three, Scream Factory was they were due for a release something like this, because my biggest gripe with them is just that we're just rotating the same well over and over and over again. And I get it. For some people who are just starting Scream Factory collections, it's okay. It's for them. It's not for me per se. But I like to see something different. And when they do release something different, it's more or less like, oh, we're just doing a Blu-ray. And it's like, what? Why? You're doing something different. Let's get a 4K. But with this, it seems like it's a 4K. But I did not see if Scream Factory officially announced this or not. So let me know in the comments if they did or not. So I don't want to be like, this is happening. But rumors are they showed a box with the Scream Factory logo and it says Hush 4K, which I thought was really cool, because what this does now is not only is it an interesting title that Scream Factory is picking up on 4K, which is long overdue for them, but this opens up a lot of doors now to be like, well, wait a minute. Is Netflix letting some of these movies go? And is Scream Factory got some kind of deal here? Because that would be huge for them. I would love to see, oh my God, I'm losing it. What's the show he did? It was like my favorite show, with the priest. It was one of the favorite. I think I named it my favorite thing in horror the year it came out. I can't even think of what it's called now. Let me know in the comments. You guys know, it's on the tip of my tongue, but it's like my favorite thing that came out in horror. Midnight Mass. Thank you, Matt. This is a possibility now, right? Like, can somebody release this? Is it going to be? I mean, if they have access to it, Scream Factory would be dumb not to do it. Thank you, King. But that's exciting, right? It's exciting now that the doors seem to be open for some of this stuff, which they didn't seem open before. Midnight Mass is one I would love to see someone do. A nice box set, unbelievable show, man. Like, I would love to have a documentary about the making of it. I loved it. So I think this is cool. Now, a lot of people like, I wish Scream Factory wasn't the ones doing it. I get it. But I think that for a company like Scream Factory, like, in my opinion, they needed this to kind of keep themselves like out there, because to me, I feel like they're kind of getting forgot about a little bit. And I haven't bought much from them in a while, and I was buying everything from them forever. But there's just not a lot of things that I want from them anymore, um, or stuff I don't have or whatever. So this is good, I think, for them. Now, here's where the problem comes in. Are they going to release this, and all of a sudden, 2 months later, Second's like, "Oh, we're doing it too"? That I don't know. So that's where things might get interesting. But I think it's cool. I think it's cool that we're finally getting something like this out on physical, because, like I said, it opens a lot of doors for more possibilities when it comes to some of this, like, Netflix only movies and whatnot. So I'm excited for this. I'll definitely get it. And I'll keep my eyes and ears open to see if anybody else announces it from overseas or whatever. But as of right now, I'm definitely going to get it. I'm not going to pre-order it right away. I just want to kind of test the waters. But like I said, I don't know if they officially announced it yet, because online companies officially announced Faculty months ago, and that's kind of been dead in the water since. So I'm not going to come out here and confirm anything, but I'm just giving you my thoughts on if this is happening. But yeah, this is good news. It's cool news for physical media fans and whatnot. I think this is really, really good stuff. So guys, if you're just chiming in now, couple big key points we're talking about. We talked about the Blair Witch release and the future of the Blair Witch release. And if you have Region B, what you can do. If you don't have Region B, what can you do? We talked about that news. We heard from Mike Modelo about that as well, and what he said to do and what he said could be coming when it comes to Blair Witch. We talked about Hush possibly being released on 4K. We talked about the Vinegar Syndrome show coming up on Thursday night on this channel, the Rad Sales show, with a huge show, and it's going to be a super rad show. And who else can have a rad ass show like Born to Be Rad and the Rad Pit? So you want to be here for that, because we have been doing these Vinegar Syndrome shows since day one, at least since 2020. I don't know all the shows that were doing that back then, but definitely come and hang out. It's always a party. We start at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do a little pregame, then we do a countdown. We check out the new stuff, and we give you our thoughts on it. And maybe we'll watch like a Benny's Bathtub trailer or something like that in there. But super fun time. Click that link down below to go subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Rad Pack. It's my podcast with two other YouTubers, Mel from My Killer Podcast, Justin over at The Dead Couch. And we have our annual Camp Rad Pack show tomorrow night, which is always fun. So tomorrow I'll be packing up and heading to camp. And I'll definitely see you guys tomorrow over on that channel. And Friday night, I will be doing the Rad Dudes are back. So me and Cody will be here Friday night. And we're going to be doing a show called Odd Couples, where we're going to talk about the wackiest, zaniest, out there buddy cop movies we can find. I'm going to talk a little bit about those and give you a lot of fun, crazy stuff that we think you guys need to watch. So definitely come back for that as well. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe now. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the like button right now. And before I leave tonight, I'm going to go back to the chat. So anything you want to ask me now, anything you want to talk about, I will be on here for another 15 minutes to chat with you guys. So holler at me in the comments, and we're going to get to it right now. All right, let me start where I left off here. All right, a lot of people saying Hush is great. Yeah, it's definitely pretty cool. It's definitely cool release. Remember they had the Bones Brigade and Police Academy 3 or 4. I can't remember which one was awesome. I don't remember that. I have not seen Police Academy movies in a long time. A long, long time. Yeah, it's definitely one that you guys want to keep your eye on. Strange Darling, I'm hearing great things about that. So I'll definitely check it out. It's just hard for me to get to the theaters, but I will check it out. Yes, the Rad Pit Vinegar Syndrome party for lesser films with the best packaging ever. I'm there. Yes, that's the show. What up, Simon? What up, man? I like to imagine you have the bloom pink lighting all over your house. Couple rooms, couple rooms. I wonder if Netflix is seeing what Shudder's. I hope so because those damn Shutter releases are selling out hella fast. Um, William, what's up? I think Screen Factory is better than given credit for, especially with the transfers. Yeah, I mean they do good transfers, no question. Um, but again, for someone like me, the only reason I don't buy a lot of this stuff anymore is because I've already done it. So even if a transfer is better, I sometimes it doesn't that doesn't make that much of a difference for me when it comes to $40, right? Like, am I going to watch The Burning on Blu-ray or The Burning on 4K and be like, oh well, the 4K looks better? Okay, but is it $40 worth to have to respend? That depends. So that's why I don't buy everything that they upgrade because it's just to me the money is not worth the upgrade. If there was all these new features and shit on there, or they gave me more with it, then maybe. But the specific movies I'll say yes, and specific movies I'll say no. And that's mainly because I collected every single title from them on Blu-ray back back when they were doing all the collector's editions and stuff. So all the collector's editions I have besides the Hammer stuff. So a lot of times I'm just kind of tired and I'm not really feeling like, rebuying the movies over and over again. That's mainly it. If I didn't have them, I would certainly buy them. I didn't realize Hush was Flanagan. Yeah, I'm interested to see it. Yeah, I'm definitely interested. What up, Anthony? How are you, dude? Thanks for being here, man. I gotta get that, man. I gotta get that. Great Face releasing. Were they supposed to release Big Top? I think I saw that somewhere. Yeah, I only have Big Top on DVD. I do have Pee Wee's Playhouse on DVD, but I would like to get the Blu-ray. You like the disappointment? Is that what it is? Shout Studios is Hush up for rent and bite. Really? Huh. That's interesting. Oh, Benny's Bathtub. Hell yeah. Did you see the slipcover for Hush says 4 discs? Wow. No, I didn't. That's pretty incredible. 4 discs. 4K Blu-ray, and I guess a lot of features. I mean, that's great. I saw that today. I guess. I mean, I liked their first 2 albums. That's it. Then I think they broke up anyways, right? But I mean, I don't know. I guess. Um. Ooh, 80s and 90s food. Holy mackerel! I always think about this stuff too, and now it's like then I'm on like a mass. I don't can't even answer your questions. You know what? Pretty cool. Do you remember like um what they called like I can't think. There was like they were like peanut butter, but they were like a bars. PB, not PB crisps. Shit, I forget what they're called now. But the peanut butter inside was like really gooey, like oozing peanut butter. I forget what those were called. Those were really good though. Um, I know these are around, but if I could pick anything, I would probably pick Pizza Hut. We don't have any around here really anymore. But I know some people do, so it's hard to say I would bring it back. But that I don't know what Bones Brigade is. I have no idea. Um, Thank you, Mama. Hit the likes. I guess. I've seen a Leslie Vernon mask out there somewhere. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Blu-ray from Scream Factory is fine. Um, I personally don't think, I don't need any more editions of Behind the Mask. It would be nice if Arrow got those 2 Scream for a nice chunky box set. Which ones are you talking about? Sorry. Seems the screen factories are running out of ideas. They just resigned deals with companies. Now they release. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know the answer to that. I mean, they still have access to a lot of big titles, so I think they're probably just milking that as much as they can while they have it. But they've also lost a lot of titles that other companies have swooped up. So I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if they feel like it's hard because there's so much they could do, even when it comes to packaging, to kind of keep up with the big dogs now, even people like Arrow. But I'm not sure if they want to change their look because they're kind of known for the same style, and people that have the screen factories together on the wall kind of like that everything kind of matches, right? So I think that they had an idea with the hard boxes and they kind of scrapped it. I wish they would have kept it and said, "Hey, we're doing all of our 4Ks and hard boxes," because then it would have been an easy way to tell. Okay, all the hard boxes are 4Ks, all the slip covers, the regular slip covers are Blu-ray collector's editions, the non-slips are not our standard editions. Like that would have been the transition I would have made, because at least they're evolving a little bit. Now they went backwards, and then it's like, well, now what do you do? So I think the problem with them, in my opinion, is that they're, for a company that was like always ahead of the curve, has had trouble evolving when all these other companies now evolving. Arrow, Vinegar Syndrome, even Severin is evolving. Second Sight is here now. Umbrella is putting out some crazy shit. If I talk about companies that are evolving or not evolving, like to me, like I feel like Kino is fine. Like that to me, Kino is always like they have a specific look and they're gonna run with it, and that's Kino. But for something like Scream Factory, I feel like they needed to evolve a little bit. So I don't yeah. PB Max, was it? I think it was PB Max. They had like really cool like boxes with like 80s colors and stuff on it. No, not Butterfingers. Oh, did they? I don't remember that, but I think I have a Kino of that. That would be so sick, dude. Yeah, because it was an Olive Films title. Yeah, that would be sick. Purple Sauce Rex Kool-Aid. Hell yeah. Yeah, it was like my favorite. My favorite. So many memories. There's a lot, dude. They haven't put out the Phantasm stuff or the Lost Boys stuff yet. Dude, 100%. There's so many. There's so many. I did a video on a Corey Haim box set, like a wish list thing, and it would be sick, but I don't know the deal with the Haim stuff. You figure Vinegar Syndrome would have put out like, I have her Fast Getaway collection because Cynthia Rothrock's in it, and they've done all of her shit so far. So, Bog Zombie, thank you, dude, for a little support there. I appreciate that. What do you want to see? Some
Well, that often. Bam! That just kicks it up a little bit.
Thanks, dude. Thank you. Brian, what's up, dude? He said I had to go grab that sweet media book, Garbage Pail Kids. Dude, I gotta find. Is that sold out? It's got a documentary in it. Which one? What's the documentary on? The movie or just Garbage Pail Kids in general? Let me know. I never did. Mount Tastasia Putt Putt. No, never. Never. Hold on. Did I not say hi to him? Hold on. I lost my way here. Sorry, I'm way back. Way back. Oh, sorry, Last Movie Standing. What's up, man? Oh, you're the one who said that. I'm sorry. How are you, dude? Go check out Last Movie Standing. He's putting out some good quality shit over there. Killing it. It's killing it. What's my favorite non-physical media YouTube content? I like documentaries. I like documentaries on certain things, either like actors or music. I like wrestling bios and stuff, like wrestling stuff. I watch a lot of fitness stuff. I'm trying to think what else I would watch. I guess that's probably it. I have this weird thing. I watch a lot of chiropractor videos. I've never been to one, but I find them so fascinating. that I watch a lot of that, especially at night, like when I'm going to bed or whatever. It's weird, right? It's kind of weird. But something about it, it's like so intriguing to me. And I don't know if it has to do with like what I do for work, and I do a lot of like prehab, post rehab stuff, injury prevention, pain free performance. I do a lot of stuff with injuries in my job, so I think watching stuff like that, just seeing it from a different lens, intrigues me, like to learn about the things about the body and stuff like that. I've never been to one, but I like watching the videos. I would love that. I would love that. 30 years of garbage. Is that the one that they talk? I think I have that, or else it was that on like streaming or something. I think I've seen it. It talks over all the cards and whatnot. I got it and I hated it. I bought that right away. I was like, oh my god, a Stephen King documentary, hell yeah! And I watched it and it started just talking about politics, and I was like, dude, this sucks. So I didn't even finish it. Shut it off. Shut it off. Oh wow, interesting. I think I love like the ladder match with Michaels and Razor. I love the Iron Man match. When I saw Rob Van Dam versus Jerry Lynn in ECW for the first time, blew my mind. So, maybe I can go back and say something like that. Of course I do. I've all hate Feldman's movies. Oh yeah. I'm watching some of sponsored videos waiting on it. Oh. I think people would think I'm a little bit weird too when they saw mine. Because what happens is if I'm watching chiropractic videos and stuff, like sometimes when I fall asleep, it just starts going on like weird videos that like kind of have to do with it. So my history is interesting. Oh, two great titles. I mean, I don't think Scream Factory has Day of the Dead anymore. I don't know if they have Mouth of Madness, but I do think that's one that you'll probably see on 4K if they have it. Yeah, I was disappointed with it. I really was really excited for that when it came out, and then when I watched it, I was like, "What the?" And I think Brandon and Christian said the same thing that I'm saying. Um, I can see Vinegar Syndrome doing regular poster reprint sale for films they have license to. Perhaps that's one thing I'll say about Vinegar Syndrome. Love them or hate them, they're always ahead of the game. They're always thinking. They're always evolving. You know, what's up, Frank? I hope so. I saw him last night. I thought he did fine. I was actually pretty happy with how he did, all things considered. I still like this group. I think that it was a stretch to get this over, but I think they're doing a good job with it. It comes off creepy. I don't know if I buy him as a baby face though. It's like a weird kind of dynamic. I would love to see him do well. I would love to see him, get over and be a big star, because I think nothing hurts WWE by having multiple people that you could consider main event stars. Maybe they may not win the title all the time, but people where like if someone gets hurt, you've got five other people that can take their spot at the top of the card. That's what I think WWE's been missing for so long. Vince was so afraid to make people larger than life because he was afraid they were going to leave. So like you had your John Cena's, you had your Brock Lesnar's, you had your Randy Orton's, and then everybody else was like mid-carders. Even someone like Dolph Ziggler, like he lost so many times, it was hard to take him serious once he got to the main event. People like Sheamus, same thing. It was hard to take them serious because they lost so much. Where now they've got a lot of talent that are considered like high mid-card or main event, which is awesome because everybody's over now. And I think that we haven't felt that way since the Attitude Era. So I'm hoping Uncle Howdy can remain, up there because they could use him. I wear XLs. I find that large has become too small, especially with a lot of these companies. It's like I'll get it and a large fits great. That's what I wore for a long time. And then as soon as they hit the wash, it's like they're so small. And I'm like, what the hell? So I've been buying XLs lately, and when I wash them, they still fit great. So that's kind of where I'm at now. So this is like an XL, where it's got a little bit of room to it, but it doesn't look like a dress or anything like that. Oh, it was a great match, man. I was a big Shawn Michaels. I did like both of them, but at the time I was a big Shawn Michaels guy. Barbarian is supposed to get a 4K release in autumn. I would love to. I would love that. It deserves it. I love AJ Styles. What's up, Austin? Love him. I went to dinner with AJ Styles in 2000 and maybe 4 or 3. So I used to go down to spring break in Fort Lauderdale in Miami, and my buddy lived down there. My buddy was a pro wrestler, and he moved down there for pro wrestling. So he did a couple stints with TNA, like dark matches and stuff like that. So one spring break, we went down there. We went to Disney, and we went to Universal, and we went to go watch TNA pay per view at TNA's pay per view. And I wish I knew what the pay per view was. I have it. I'm trying to see if it's over here, so then I can show you guys. I can't see it. It must be in a box. It was like Destination X or something like that, and it was an X division match. It was AJ versus somebody else. I remember Kevin Nash was there. DDP was there. X-Pac was there. And then afterwards, all the wrestlers went to dinner. And my buddy knew some people from TNA. So he's like, oh, let's go. We're going to go to dinner with them. And I think I've told this story. It might have been on a Rad Pack members only stream. But I had dinner. It was me, my buddy, a girl, and AJ Styles sitting at like a booth eating dinner. And I had this canvas belt on because at the time I was working for Abercrombie and Fitch. And AJ was like infatuated with it. He's like, yo, what's that? I love that belt. It was like, like back at the canvas belts, you could have like a piece kind of hanging down in the front. And this was like all different colored blues. And he's like, I love that belt. I love that belt. And he kept asking me if he could have it. And I'm like, no, you can't have this. I'm like, what am I going to wear? He's like, oh man, come on, man. Like, I love that belt. Like they don't have this around here, blah, blah, blah. So I never gave it to him, but he was a cool dude. And I always wonder to this day, if I ever saw him at a shelf, I'd be like, yo, remember when you wanted my belt? There's no way he would remember that. This was like a weird night after pay-per-view for dinner. But it's always a story that I have with AJ. But AJ is a fucking great dude. Super nice when I met him. He seems like a great guy. And I think he's probably one of the best professional wrestlers of all time. All time. I love AJ Styles. Houston chiropractor. I'm going to give him the ring dinger. Oh, I know him, dude. Still kicking. The ring dinger. You couldn't pay me $1,000 to get that thing done to me. Oh, hell yeah. Frog Dreaming or whatever it's called. Yeah, man. I have the Blu-ray from Umbrella. It's a good movie. Basically. Yeah, I think the elements have been lost, so they're trying to figure something out with it. I don't know, man. It depends. Like the Vince of old, yes. The Vince of like the last 10 years, no. It's WWE right now is the best it's been in probably 20 years. And if you guys aren't watching it and you were wrestling fans, I'd suggest checking it out again. Yeah, I have that. It's a cool release, man. It's a cool release. It looks great on 4K. That's so funny. Yeah, man, it does suck. I bet WWE is kicking themselves for not grabbing him earlier than that. He's probably got like one more run left. I would love to see him in Judgment Day and team with Balor and kind of bring back almost like a Bullet Club vibe. I would love that because when he's if AJ's in a group like that, he doesn't have to do a lot, so it keeps him on TV. He gets to be with Balor. I know they're buddies, and it just makes that faction seem a lot stronger with a guy like AJ in it. I always liked I am. I always liked that one. It kind of reminded me of like, was it Filter song? Or no, Stabbing Westward, I think, had a song like that. Danny boy. What's up, dude? I love the Dutch profile. That's sick, dude. I love it. But guys, I said I was going to be here another 15. It's been 15. And for people like Danny who's just popping in, thank you for coming in and saying what's up. Make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't, go back and watch the stream. We talk about a lot of stuff. We talk about some shows coming up. We talk about some physical media. Guys, come back tomorrow on the Rad Pack Pod channel and come hang out with us. We're going to be going to camp. It's going to be a fun show. Come back to this channel on Thursday. So go hit all those reminders for that show, because that's going to be the big Vinegar Syndrome show. Guys, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not, share these videos out, look through my library. Any videos that you think are cool, that you think you want to share to somebody or share into a Facebook group or whatever, share away, because we are on the hunt for 10K by the end of the year. And I can't do it alone. I need the help of my Rad Pack, the Rad community. Guys, thank you again for the support. As always, thank you again for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you again for checking this out. This is Garrett. I want to be rad. And like always, stay